What's up, everybody? Welcome back to After Credit Reflection, and today is very special indeed because I will be reviewing none other than the first theatrically released movie for Star Wars since Rise of Skywalker. Oh man, it's gonna be a good one. Alright, so I saw this movie last night and I was blown away by the amount of detail when it came to the Easter eggs that they threw in here. I've been seeing a lot of reviews online that have been calling this movie just like fan service. And yes, while there is fan service in this movie, that isn't the purpose of the movie. It's to continue the story that was told in The Mandalorian. And I mean, honestly, I see a possibility where they can bring Mandalorian back, where they can bring Mando back. And this will be a non-spoiler review because not everybody's going to be able to see it opening weekend because tickets are scarce for this. Now, when it came to this movie, I was like, I need to see this. This is a priority movie for me this summer. There's a lot of releases that I have been waiting for. And while at the beginning I wasn't necessarily too jazzed about having a Mandalorian movie, the fact that they were able to pull together a cohesive story, and when I saw the trailer for it, I was like, this is going to be awesome. But that didn't happen overnight. I wasn't won over overnight. But I saw the trailer and was interested, and I was like, it's another Star Wars movie. It's probably going to be good. And it was. It was so good. I love this movie so much. There's so many different things I loved about it that I'm going to cover in this video, but I definitely think that it is, despite reviews online from critics and from audiences, it is one of the better Star Wars things to come out over the past couple of years. So, yeah. But let's get right into it. Alright, so if you don't know and if you're not caught up, there are a little bit of spoilers, but they're from the shows and not necessarily the movie itself. This story is about The Mandalorian, and if you haven't seen The Mandalorian, it's on Disney Plus, and it is a very good series, very well made, very Western-ish theme, which is awesome for a bounty hunter. But it is one of my favorite series to watch on Disney Plus just because of the balance between the dark and the light that they have on this show in terms of color schemes, in terms of just overall tone. I think that the Mandalorian show itself does a fantastic job of balancing that. And the movie, without giving any spoilers, is no different from that. While people have said that it just feels like a feature length or like a hour and 45-minute episode of The Mandalorian, in a way, when it started, it did feel that way. But as the movie went on, I started to recognize, oh no, this is definitely a feature-length film. It doesn't feel like a TV show. Now, I didn't mean for that to sound like a complaint, because it's not. I actually loved this movie, and that's what I'm going to be covering today. But if I do rate it lower than what other people may have rated it, then you understand why. Then you understand kind of where I'm coming from. I take into consideration all of the views that people have on these movies. Whenever I look at the comment section of a trailer being posted on Cinemark or on Regal or on AMC, I take into account all of those comments just because I love taking in people's opinions and just hearing them out. So, yeah, let's get into why I love this movie. So, Mandalorian and Grogu, let's get right into it. First of all, the character of the Mandalorian has come so far since his debut on the Disney Plus TV show. Now, does that mean that he is a perfect character front to back? No, but he is one of the most complete Star Wars characters we have, at least nowadays in the proper Star Wars feed. He is one of the most complete characters that is not a Jedi. I should clarify that, not a Jedi. But I definitely think that overall, Mandalorian is just amazing in this film. He is like a protective father to Grogu, which is a very good dynamic. And I'm not going to spoil anything. Yeah, that's it. I'm just not going to spoil anything about it. I would go see it if I were... Even if you're not a fan of The Mandalorian, or you're like, I don't know what you're talking about, Nolan. I don't know exactly what the heck you're talking about. Go watch the movie. It'll explain so much. And I just love being able to watch films that impact people. This film kind of impacted me because it reminded me of watching the original trilogy, and kind of reminded me of that and the nostalgia that was hitting in. And that's exactly what they were going for in this movie. They were aiming for nostalgia. And so I'm really excited for future Star Wars projects to come out. But overall, I think Pedro Pascal as the Mandalorian, you may think, ooh, Pedro Pascal. Yeah, it's different than his other roles that he's known for. And for good reason, because his demeanor as the Mandalorian in this movie is just amazing. It is fantastic to see an actor with a very broad range playing this specific, not monotone, but monotone in way of speaking, but not speaking like a robot. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But I think overall, when it comes to characters in Star Wars, the Mandalorian, Din Djarin, as his actual name is, Din Djarin is one of the best bounty hunters we have. Bounty hunter turned, I don't know at this point. At the end of Mandalorian, he's kind of starting to realize that just hunting people down just for purely money or for doing it for the wrong reasons is bad. So we kind of see that effect too. But overall, I love this movie. Loved Mandalorian in it. And let's talk about Grogu and all the rest of the puppets that are in here. All right, so Grogu, one of the cutest creatures in Star Wars. He is one of the most powerful babies I have ever seen in my entire life. What I love about this movie is that they do not shy away from showing that they used practical effects when it came to Grogu and other creatures. Because there were a few creatures in here that reminded me of Dark Crystal from the Jim Henson Company. And if you don't know, Dark Crystal was kind of the first one-off from the Muppets that Jim Henson made. And then I think the second one starred David Bowie and was The Labyrinth. So, yeah. But let's talk a little bit about that, because I'm a little bit of a nerd when it comes to puppets, because my favorite franchise is the Muppets. So, I think that when it came to the puppetry of this whole thing, I was just sitting there and I was thinking, man, I was watching the screen and I was like, man, none of Grogu, I mean, I guess Grogu could be possible without the advancements that Jim Henson made. But it was just awesome to see how far puppetry has came since the days of Jim Henson, kind of redefining what it means to do puppetry. And I stayed long enough and I saw in the names of the people in the credits, I saw that there was 5 names for just puppeteers of Grogu. And then there was like 15 to 20 names for puppetry. That means that there was puppetry throughout the movie. And you can obviously see it with the other creatures. I'm not going to mention what those creatures are because 1, I don't know the names of them. And 2, I don't want to spoil anything. But I just want to say that Grogu as a character has grown significantly from when we first saw him in The Mandalorian. I definitely think that he is going to be a very powerful Jedi later down the road. I mean, he's a powerful, he's a powerful baby. But he's probably going to grow into a significantly good Jedi. And so I'm excited for whatever the future holds for that dynamic duo, as it's the Star Wars dynamic duo. So, yeah. That's my take on the puppetry. I think that it was very masterfully done. It was amazing to see how far puppetry has come. But yeah, that's my take on that. All right, and then finally, we're getting down to, okay, what is your official number review out of 10 for this? I'm gonna be honest. As much as I love the puppetry and the storytelling and the story weaving, I'm gonna give this movie an 8.5. The reason being is because there was some plot holes, there was a lot of fan service, and I definitely think that when it came time for the whole big climactic turning point, that it was a little bit underwhelming, but the fight choreography is very good in this movie. It is the thing that saved kind of this review. There was a few fights where I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. And the references and everything and the Easter eggs, while they weren't overdone, they also weren't underdone either. They were very precisely set, and so I definitely think that over time this movie is going to grow on Star Wars fans, just like Rogue One did, just like Solo: A Star Wars Story did. I just think that it's going to be a fantastic kind of set of stories that The Mandalorian is going to be able to tell, if Disney decides to go further with that. But overall, 8.5 out of 10. Not bad for a Star Wars movie, for the first theatrical release Star Wars movie since Rise of Skywalker, but not gonna lie, I kind of expected a little more. And that wraps it up for today's After Credit Reflection. I have been Nolan, your gracious host, and I will see you in a couple weeks with the Masters of the Universe review. And if you haven't already, be sure that you like and subscribe and follow if that is your jam. If it's not, then don't. If you didn't like this video or you didn't like the review, alright, cool. I'm just letting you know that I do reviews from my point of view, and that's how I do my reviews, and that's all anyone can do with their reviews. It's their opinion on the movie. I just happen to share my opinion of the movie on a platform.